Hi, everybody. This is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm so pleased to be talking to Bex Houston, who is Managing Director of Smash Marketing. Bex, lovely to meet you.
You too. Good to meet you.
Tell us a bit about Smash Marketing.
Okay, Smash Marketing is a team of digital marketing professionals. We're currently at 6, soon to become 7 in October. We're Norwich based. We specialise in SEO, which is the art of getting websites found. What makes us a bit different and a little bit special is that a lot of agencies, once they reach our size and capability, will increase their monthly retainers to over sort of 1,000, 1,500 too. Yeah, so when companies reach our size and capability, they tend to increase their monthly retainers to sort of anything between £1,000, £2,000, which then prices out a lot of the smaller businesses. So we've made a pledge that all businesses, whatever size, should have access to decent SEO services. So our retainers are to suit every budget. We're also business climate leaders with the Norfolk Chamber, and we've pledged to go net zero by the end of next year. So we're really, and also doing this thing called B Corp, which encompasses the community, our staff, and we're just trying to run a business for good. So that's kind of what makes us a bit different.
Oh my God, that's so fantastic to hear and so interesting about like net zero, because I think that is something that everybody is thinking about now. And really nice that focus on small businesses, because so much of Norfolk is small business, I think. But tell us a bit about the sort of different jobs that people do at Smash Marketing and what sort of skills and knowledge they might have to do those jobs.
Okay, so starting at the bottom, or perhaps even temporary. So we have a lady who does business development for us and customer service. So she will, we send out the proposal, she will then follow them up and gain feedback, and then book them on if they decide to go ahead, gain feedback if the prospective client says that they don't want to go ahead. Then sort of at the bottom we have an intern coming in October.
Oh,
So
wow, brilliant.
she has she's working on her marketing degree. Then also kind of at the same level we would have a marketing assistant, and as the job title would suggest, they assist the marketing execs and the marketing managers. So their role would encompass things like, so don't forget we do SEO, search engine optimization, so they'd be doing sort of day-to-day roles like link building, competitor research. We tried to keep the roles very varied. You know, one of the things that we want to do is retain our team. So if we're going to give them lots of boring jobs to do each day, then, you know, they're not going to stay very long, are they? Moving up the ladder, we've then got marketing executive. So they'll have a little bit more responsibility, but won't necessarily be running their own campaigns at this point. Or if they are, then it'll be under the supervision of the marketing manager. And then going up the reporting line, you'll have marketing manager level. They will be running their own campaigns and making marketing decisions and marketing suggestions to their own clients. They manage their own clients. That's another way that we are different to a lot of other marketing agencies. A lot of marketing agencies, the person that actually does the work will rarely have direct contact with the customer, but because we are working with smaller companies, they want to be able to brief the amends and changes and comments in directly to the person who's doing the work.
Oh, that is so helpful to understand all these sort of different layers as people kind of move through. And it strikes me that you maybe need quite different skills, perhaps, and I might be wrong, to do the business development than perhaps you need like to do the, say, marketing assistant, for example. So I just wondered if we could sort of work our way through it, like with the business development person, what sort of skills and experience might they have?
Can't be shy, need to be very confident, have a thick skin, although, you know, we've never had anybody be rude to us.
Good.
But you've got to be able to accept feedback and not take anything personally. let's face it, you know, if I've written a proposal and I'm asking someone else to follow up, it's not for them to kind of take it on the chin. It's feedback for me to learn and to make the proposals better and perhaps ultimately change the way that we run the business. They need to be dedicated, driven. We don't run a commission only basis or anything like that. They are on salary. So
interesting.
Yeah, need to be a doer for business development, and don't be scared of the telephone. We find a lot of people are not keen on making phone calls and actually speaking to people. It's all very well emailing, requesting feedback. You know, did you receive the proposal? What did you think? Would you like to go ahead? But not everybody works in that fashion. You find the different generations, especially, and the different personalities. Some people will want to communicate via WhatsApp. Other people want to be a phone call only. Other people email only. And we've got to be adaptable for each of those communication methods for each of the personalities.
Oh, that's so interesting how the business development person needs to be able to be responsive as well as driven and resilient, and you know, able to kind of, like you say, pick up the phone and get in touch with people. So how that might that be a bit different than from, say, like your marketing assistant role?
So I think the business development they need to follow a process, whereas the marketing assistants, execs, marketing managers need to have a little bit more creative flair.
Right.
So we, right from the outset, we encourage them to come up with suggestions and push back. So I might brief in something to one of the team, and I would expect them, if they have better ideas, to push back and say, well, what about this? You know, it's not, pushing back doesn't have to be, you know, then they're not arguing. It's just well, have you thought of doing it this way? And actually, you know, we've done this in the past for this client. Perhaps that could work for these people. And I would expect that and encourage it.
Yeah.
We do still have the book, you know, we do have ways that we work, but those are always evolving. So they will kind of have a handbook on how to do things, you know, how to build a Facebook ad, how to, we have for SEO, we have a list of processes that we take a website through. They're not always necessarily done from number 1 to number 50. It might be in different orders depending on the website and the objectives of the client. So there are processes to follow, but they're a lot more loose than they would be for the business development.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So but that's also really good to hear that if you're maybe new and coming in at the marketing assistant level, that there are those kind of layers of support as well around you. What sort of, and I'm guessing, is that kind of the main sort of entry point into the organisation? I wondered what you sort of look for when you're recruiting people into that position.
To be quite honest, and I had this discussion with somebody this morning about, you know, GCSEs and A levels, and I don't really look at qualifications. It's all during probably the interview process. We mostly recruit on their values and personality because you can teach the rest. We need to know that they're going to fit nicely with the team and not be the rotten apple that is going to create discord. You know, they need to be. Go on, sorry.
No, that was so interesting. I was just wondering, like, sort of how, you know, what sort of values are you looking for, and how might somebody kind of demonstrate those to you at interview?
Oh, it's hard to put it into words.
Is
I
that like,
think, you
say,
know,
like if you're a
when you
team
meet the
player?
personality, well, there is that, yeah. And you know, if they can show examples or give an example of when they have perhaps, you know, gone above and beyond for a friend, or you know, what would they do in certain situations? I have given the scenario in the past where perhaps your line manager has asked you to lie to a client. How would you feel about it? What would you say? What would you do?
What a great question. So, and then through those, I guess, then you're looking to see how people respond to be able to establish whether or not they've got
Yeah,
the values and the characteristics that you
yeah,
need for your organisation to do the role. Do you
yeah.
think, I mean, I've felt this understanding a little bit more about digital marketing from talking to employers like you. Do you, it's quite technical, isn't it? and you need to be able to cope with that, I think.
Yeah, which is it's been interesting for an old dinosaur like me, but actually I'm still okay. I'm still hanging on in there. I think a lot of youngsters just get it now,
Yeah,
and you know they're on their phones, they're on their laptops, they're on the tablets. They're half of them are, well, I say half of them, they're a considerable amount of coding and doing very advanced things on computers. So I think those that have come through and made applications to us feel that they are already technical, so
yeah,
it's not been an issue. And as I said, we wouldn't just throw a youngster into the deep end. We do have a process of how they can climb up the ladder, and
yeah.
you know, different learnings in place.
What sort of, so if I were a marketing assistant, because we know that young people find job descriptions really sort of quite a flat way of understanding about a job. So if I were a marketing assistant, talk me through like what my day might be like, you know, from the moment I maybe come in and have a coffee to the moment I go home, what sort of things would I actually be doing?
Okay, so to start with, we have a hybrid optional. You can work from home or you can work from the office.
Right.
So we probably recommend while you're still training, you can work from the office. It just makes more sense. Once you've gone through that training process, you can, as I said, remain working from home or work from the office. You'll be assigned a marketing manager or a marketing exec to work with, and we have a team meeting at the start of the day that happens every
Right.
day, which we find helps those who are working from home feel like they are still part of the team. We put that in place during lockdown, and it's continued every day. And it's every day we have a new agenda and quite a lot of things to discuss. We have this thing that we call the power of the team. And it's if somebody has a problem or something technical, or even just a, what do you think I should do in this situation? Or how should I respond to this client? Any kind of a, you know, actually, I'd like to get the opinion of everybody, then we'll use that team meeting. We also do this thing called 2, 2 and 2, which is 2 minutes talking about what you did yesterday, 2 minutes talking about what you're going to do today, 2 minutes talking about any sticking points. On a Monday, we have, we talk about, so this is also within the agenda of the
Yeah.
team meeting, we go through client planning, any new clients. We also do a mental health check-in. So how are you physically? How are you mentally? How can we help? If anyone's feeling a little overwhelmed, I mean, we can all feel overwhelmed every now and again. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter who you are or how well supported you are, it hits us all. And we do have a mental health first aider within the company, but I don't think anybody's used them yet. I think the check-in does really help. And we also have access to a counsellor through one of the memberships that we have. Where was I? So once the team meeting has gone, we then have work scheduled in. So the work is scheduled in. So for example, Ben, our admin chap, is scheduling October's work in today. So you can see at a glance within your calendar what work you're going to be doing for the next month or so.
Wow.
They'll be able to see, okay, right, I'm going to be working for XYZ client doing 2 hours of, oh, I don't know, SEO link building. So all of that would have been planned in. We use a piece of software called OneNote within Microsoft Office. So everything should be briefed in there. It would be discussed with the marketing manager who owns the relationship with that client. So there's hopefully should be everything will be briefed in and well understood, but actually at any point they can have a Teams meeting with their marketing manager to discuss any questions. And that goes on throughout the day. So they have a sort of hour blocks of work booked in. And
And so in that sort of hour, might you be kind of doing a bit of research? You might be looking at sort of statistics. You might be thinking about
yeah,
creative ways to approach something.
exactly. We use a piece of software called SEMrush, or SEMrush, as also known. That's quite technical. That can give a lot of, it can dictate a lot of work and give us a lot of guidance on the work that should be done. So that's for SEO. Then we use another piece of software called Google Analytics, Google Search Console. We also do Google Ads. So we use the Google Ads platform. We do social media marketing, so we'll be using Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn. So a lot of different platforms that we need to get our heads around.
Ah, so people could be doing that throughout the day as well. Oh,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
so
And we
interesting
try and
to
keep it
understand.
varied.
Yeah, that sounds like a really interesting day in terms of all those different bits of things that
Well,
people do.
I think so, but some would be a bit, ooh, that sounds a bit dull. But then
I
again,
don't know.
I love digital marketing.
Well,
There
I
we
think
go.
that certainly comes across, Bex. And just sort of really as a note to end on, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice about sort of careers, for Bex who was leaving school, college, whatever, what piece of advice would that be?
Oh, so I worked client side for a lot of years. My piece of advice would be start the agency much earlier. Yeah, I love what I do. I love it. It's great, and we've got a great team. But I do wish I'd started it much earlier.
Why is that, do you think?
Would be much further along. So I think from a financial perspective, I would be much better off. Um, I don't know. I think
Is it
I've
rewarding
got
as well,
I've got
working for
such
yourself?
it really is, yeah. And I've got such great plans for the business, and I want to be there already. So I think if I'd have started it earlier, I'd have been much further along that journey, and perhaps we would be up to sort of 30 employees by now.
Do you think it's harder sometimes when you're younger to kind of almost like trust yourself in terms of
Oh,
going with?
yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, anybody listening to this, if you've got the guts to go out and do it, and find yourself a mentor. There are loads of people like me that are happy to mentor younger people in business. Just don't think twice. Just do it.
That's a fantastic note to end our chat on, Bex. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.